วัสดีค่ะ I'm Noop.
I'm Cream.
For more than 2,000 years ago, architecture was the part of our life. The word architecture derived from the Latin word architectura, which originally based from planning and designing, related to construction of buildings.
But if we are going to talk about the pioneer of architecture in the ancient time, we cannot escape from Greece, one of the greatest cities of the classical period.
When we talk about the Greece, we usually think about many of gods, which are the symbol of the faith that in people's heart and also in sacred places. The construction in ancient Greece was a highly complex process in the social fabric. The shape and design of the building were determined by the priest or the city itself. The Greek temples were used to preserve the image of deities, even when the building used in the ceremonies. The structure represented a votive gift to the gods rather than a church. The Parthenon on the Athenian Acropolis, constructed in record time between 449 and 438 before Christ era, designed by the architects Ichthyonos and Callicrates, and built of the finest marble from Mount Pentelicus. The Parthenon is a Doric temple that has 8 columns wide and 17 deep, but it incorporates Ionic attributes, including slender column proportion, a continuous frieze around the exterior of the cellar wall, where 4 Ionic columns support the roof. The use of 8 columns across the gable end, unusual in the Doric, has connection to earlier Ionic temples. Behind them at each end stand 6 prostyle columns, or columns in front of the east and the west wall. We need adjustments in the horizontal and vertical lines of the structure enhance the perception of orthogonal geometry. This stylobate, which is the platform from which the column rises, is actually convex upward. The columns incline imperceptibly away from the viewer, and the central axis of the columns are not vertical but light along radii, sent from a point over 6,800 feet above the ground. The columns are not the same diameter. The end ones are not larger and equidistant spaced. The corner ones are closer together. The architects made slight variation in the columns spacing and other details to avoid strict geometrical perfection. Hence, the Parthenon functioned not merely as a religious site, but as a votive gift in the larger sense and an extraordinary monument, which is the greatest symbol of the city-state of Athens.
At the same time, an ancient river culture has influenced various countries, including Thailand.
Thailand is known for its multitude of elaborate Buddhist temples throughout the kingdom. There are more than 30,000 wat that are home, at any one time, to as many as 300,000 monks, although they may vary somewhat depending on the function. All wat has certain distinct elements. Unlike a Christian church, a wat is actually a complex structure, usually surrounded by a wall containing of open ground with garden. The main structure are easily spotted from the distance, with their distinctive multi-layer rooftop in green and orange tiles, while the simplest wat may only have 2 or 3 buildings. A wat is a strange mythic beast are usually scattered by Moses throughout the compound or used as an architectural. The principal are the most sacred structure at a wat is the boat, also known as an ubosot or ubosathan. This is the monk ordination hall and is set on the ground. You can recognize a boat because it is encircled by a water. In many wats, the boat remains closed except during religious function, while in others, this is the primary location for the laity to go in the order to make a merit in the form of candle, flower, or coin, or offered to Buddha image. The vihan is often the largest structure of the wat, either rectangular or cruciform in shape. This is the assembly hall where the laity can listen to monks reciting Buddhist scripture. Make merit or check their fortune by shaking a containing of stick until one falls out called CMC. JD is Thai word for stupa. This dome structure may be used as a monument to house a Buddhist relic or ash of a monk or important person. Most large jadis sit atop of a building that containing of Buddha image and may also including interior mural. A typical Thai jedi whose stylistic roots date back to Sri Lanka via the first Thai kingdom of Sukhothai, is shaped like a bell top with by a spire and often sit upon the lintel base. One of the most popular ones is Wat Phakeo. This is the highlight of Thailand. There are no monks and also show most of the Thai architecture.
Difference really, like the biggest difference I think is one more similarity is that the roof structures for both buildings are like timber construction in both buildings and with tile roofs. So that's why you don't see any roofs at the Pakulam anymore because it's like made of wood and woods, of course, last much shorter than marble. But the biggest difference is that the Parthenon was made with marble, like it was made of marble. So, but the Wat Phakeo was brick and then plastered with patterns, decorations. In terms of like usage, of course, culturally they're different. In terms of the usage, they're not that different. Just if you talk about just
I wonder why Parthenon has to be colorless compared with what in Thai.
Oh, I think that the Parthenon has to be colorless because it's not only used for religious ceremony, but it's also used for military ambition and political. How colorless of the Parthenon is make Parthenon it look a lot stronger. And whereas if we talk about what, I think what is also used for religious ceremony, but the purpose of what is for people to come and get peaceful and happiness, and that's why what is colorful.
You think sculpture and decoration of Greece and Thai are different?
I think ancient Greece used the carve on the column, but Thai used paint for decorate the wall.
What about sculpture?
The sculpture is so different because Greek believe in many of gods, so it's used to god sculpture for decorate the Greek temple. But Thai believe in Buddha. It has to use Buddha statue for represent the Buddha.
Got it.
I think just because the Thai architecture or Thai architectural culture is very much affected by the larger global movement in architecture. I think where at the point where we have to reevaluate our architectural heritage and re-examine what we have here, and also the need for architecture to respond better to the climate here is very important. I mean, in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s, it was all about importing ideas, modernist ideas from Europe, and just like, build a building here that looks exactly just like, buildings anywhere else in the world. And that doesn't work anymore because, it's less energy efficient. It's not, it doesn't respond to the climate very well, and also the skills and the level of construction, or even like the craftsmanship here can't really compare, or may have something more distinctive than craftsmen elsewhere. So that's basically it. So, well, just to sum up, it will be more localized, and it will be more responsive to the climate here in Thailand.